Broadway's biggest stars and shows are all right here on The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsin Fidel, so let's get going.
It's not real. Normal.
Nightmares don't make you a monster.
They do if you can make them come true.
Broadway has been turned upside down. A Stranger Things prequel now on Broadway, taking place 24 years before the start of the smash Netflix hit. Stranger Things: A First Shadow stars T.R. Knight and more. We had a chance to chat. Let's talk about this because this show is, I heard, technologically spectacular. Can you talk a little bit about it?
So the television show, it introduces us to 11, right?
Yes.
And so the play introduces us to number 1. It takes place in 1959, so everyone you know as an adult, pretty much everyone you know as an adult in the television show is a high school student in this, because the villain from season 4 is number 1, and he is in high school as well. I've never worked on anything like this at all. Never this scope, never in this genre before in theater. So there's this kind of massive machinery to it, but then it also exists as this kind of quiet tragedy of a play as well, in addition to all the monsters and special effects. And the special effects are just enormous. And so much so that I didn't really understand them until I just had to physically see them in person.
Right.
Yeah, and I just really did not, then it clicked.
When you look at a play like this, especially because there's such a following to Stranger Things, when you
Right.
talk about like the different parts of it, there's the emotional part of it, then there's the monsters part of it, and then there's the, just the mystery part of it overall. So, and it's exciting to now go into a theater and have this backstory that, we're not really familiar with at all.
Right. But then I think they've done a really remarkable job at, like friends of mine who have seen it who aren't familiar with the show. I'm familiar with the show, so it's, there's certain things that you just understand.
Sure.
But it's been interesting to hear from them how they've enjoyed it, not knowing it at all, and leaving it and saying, I'm gonna start looking and just start watching it, and so that's exciting.
So when you got the call that you were gonna take on this role, thoughts about it? Had you already been a fan of the show? Did you go into it kind of knowing?
Definitely liked the show a lot, and definitely did the binging. But what's interesting about this role is that there are 2 actors who share it. And there's an older version and a younger version in the because you see they visit him in jail after he's done that.
Yeah.
So this is
those who know.
This yes. So this is the younger version of the role that is flashed to. In this massive piece, there are so many little stories going on, and his is very encapsulated, but it's just full-on tragedy, and that element of the horror aspect of it. He's a very damaged individual. So,
Complexities.
It's before a time when, there would be some help for him.
Right.
So, and the whole understanding of it's supporting Henry's journey. Henry is number 1.
Yes.
Yeah, and how his damage carries on to the next generation. And doesn't set him up for success either.
Tony winner Jonathan Groff is on Broadway playing the legendary Bobby Darin in the new musical Just in Time. Here's Paul Wontorek with a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I was a splishing and a splashing. I was a rolling and a strolling. I was a moving and a grooving. I was a reeling with the feeling. I was a rolling and a strolling, moving and a grooving.
Splish splash.
I was taking a bath long about a Saturday night, Paul.
What a big, fun, crazy number.
Oh my God.
What is it? What are you up to making this Broadway show? I mean, look at you.
It's so much
Never
fun.
seen you like this.
Dancing around.
No, it's crazy.
I know. I've always wanted to dance on stage. Getting the chance to meet Shannon Lewis and have her choreograph this show.
Yeah.
And these incredible dancers that are sitting over here, Valeria, Christine, and Julia, just feeling so, I'm like living my dream and like sucking up all of their talent and energy. It's like the gift of a lifetime. Wait, what comes right before that one?
Woo!
Up to go down, up to go down, tick, 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 boom.
Shannon, I've been a fan of yours forever, just from watching you in the audience on Broadway. You're an incredible dancer and performer, but this is like a big moment for you, choreographing an entire Broadway musical. How are you feeling?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I feel so honored and lucky to have it be this show too, because the music of Bobby Darin lends itself to dance so perfectly and beautifully. Obviously, we're expanding it and evolving it for ourselves in terms of dance arrangements and things, but you hear Splish Splash, you hear Mac the Knife, you hear Beyond the Sea, and people want to dance.
Having said that, Bobby Darin didn't dance like this. You're ramping it up.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do production numbers like this.
You know, it's funny, there's a couple that I found that he kind of did. Now, he's a really quirky guy. He moved in a really quirky way. He was his own thing, but everyone talked about his electricity on stage. Yeah. And when you have someone like Jonathan Groff, who is electricity personified, we really thought to theatricalize it, to bring it to the live stage that way, and not just view it on a YouTube video, to actually feel the electricity. We wanted to evolve it and amp it up even more. So the number that you just saw is that, I think, and in the best way. I think the style stays, it's grounded in research and style, but it's through my own filter. 5 and 6, 7, 8, 2 and a 2 and a 3, and lean back, yes, 6 and 7, go. Elbows, 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 and a hold, and a hold, and a hold. Bop, 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 bop. Woo! Up to go down, up to go down. Tall, tiny, tiny, go. 1, ha, 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 and sit, sit, sit. Kick, punch, ha, 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 go.
And I know that the story of Bobby Darin takes a lot of different routes, but this is obviously sort of a celebratory, performative moment, right? This is a big hit song, hit song for Bobby.
Yes, huge hit song. And Splish Splash, you know, the idea, like, you're like, oh, the song's Splish Splash. It's kind of an LOL. It feels like kind of a novelty number. But the more that we dug into it, this is also a song that he wrote. He says he co-wrote it with Murray Kaufman, Murray the K, who was a famous DJ at the time, and Murray Kaufman's mom, who called Murray and said, tell Bobby I've got an idea for a song. It's just the lyrics, Splish Splash, take a bath. And then apparently in 15 minutes, Bobby Darin wrote the famous hit that is Splish Splash.
And you pulled together this number in 15 minutes.
And that's all it took, just 15 minutes and a lot of tears and blood and sweat. But it is actually a jam. And the way that Shannon and our music supervisor, Andrew Resnick, created this like kind of epic, almost like hullabaloo-esque dance break in the middle of the number is epic. And there's this black and white clip of Bobby Darin that inspired us, of him literally coming out of a bathtub, like out of a cartoon bathtub on a black and white television show. And he's like dancing around, like singing Splish Splash. And Shannon and Alex Timbers and Andrew were like, this could be a production number.
So what was it like getting ready to do this with Shannon? And what was the prep like to get you?
Oh my God, so we did like a small dance workshop last summer for a few days where she introduced this dance break. Then we did a workshop of the show this past summer, and it was so full on that after meeting with her and talking to her about it, we decided that it would be great for me to get some dance training. So for 10 weeks until our first day of rehearsal, Shannon and I were meeting 3 days a week to like get my body in shape so that I didn't, hopefully, it didn't break.
I was a splishing and a splashing. I was a rolling and a strolling.
6, 7.
I was a moving and a grooving. I was a reeling with the feeling. I was a rolling and a strolling, moving and a grooving, reeling with the feeling, rocking and a rolling and a strolling, moving and a grooving, splish splash, yeah.
From Tudor queens to pop icons, Six reigns supreme on Broadway. The Tony-winning musical remains one of the hottest tickets in town and on tour.
She's the queen of the castle.
Get down, you dirty rascals, get down!
Oh Nicole, thank you so much for letting us walk you to work today.
Thank you so much for having me.
In chaotic New York.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
We're so excited to be here. Excited to be like walking you to work and kind of hear more about your journey. I have a big question for you though, because this almost didn't happen. You almost didn't go to the open calls.
Can you believe it?
I
know.
What changed your mind and why didn't you almost go?
Because I think at the time they had put out this notice for future replacements, and I
Okay.
think that has such a sort of like stigma of being like, oh, so they're not really casting for anything. But you don't know what happens behind closed doors or what they're actually looking for or whatever. And I had some really wonderful people in my corner that pushed me to
Yeah.
go and just said, listen, this is what you've worked so hard for, you might as well just try. So I'm really happy I did, because now I'm here.
Look, we're trying,
Look
got
at
you.
here, yes.
Insane. Okay, let's walk.
Okay.
I know that you saw this show in 2019, and when you were watching it on stage, could you have ever imagined that you would literally be in a role
No.
in the show?
No, I think I loved the show so much and I thought it was such a fun show that I was like, wow, how cool would it be to be in it? But I actually never thought I would be, despite having a lot of training from show choir. From my high school years. It basically is that, because we used to like change formations every like 4 counts and things like that. So that was really awesome to have the opportunity to do it.
You are Anna of Cleves
Yes.
in the show, and you just own it. Like literally, you bring the spice, you bring the heat, you bring the flavor, all of the
Thank
things.
you.
Seriously, like Get Down is yours. Like watching you just perform that, I'm like, she knows she's that girl.
Thank you so
Where do you
much.
get that like confidence? Where do you draw that from?
Well, my queenspiration is Cardi B.
Okay.
Because I
Love
think
that.
she's just so unapologetically herself.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care what anyone else says about her, which I think is so Cleves coded. Henry, you know, his whole thing is that she doesn't look like her profile picture, but at the end of the day, she was really the most beautiful woman in Germany. So she's rolling up being like, huh?
And one more question.
Yeah.
I have to ask, this is probably the most important question.
Okay.
I know you guys have a snack series. What is your snack of choice these days? What's winning in the snack series?
I think, okay, we literally just tried a snack from, I think it was like Amsterdam, I think someone brought. And there were these like Doritos that were like American wing flavored. Fabulous. Bring on the snacks. We love
Literally.
trying them. Yeah,
Literally.
it's amazing. I love them.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. And listen, Break a Leg, you've been killing it, and
you
we're so
so much.
grateful that you allowed us to walk you to work.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Come
Break a
see
leg.
set.
Maybe Happy Ending has taken Broadway by storm. Critically acclaimed, totally original, visually stunning, starring Darren Criss and Helen J. Shen. This one's got it all, robots and a rom-com with a whole lot of jazz. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
So your longtime collaborators, not sick of each other yet.
No, not today.
Tell me, I was thinking about how many things you two have done together, but on Broadway, is this your most ambitious project?
I mean, they're all ambitious on some level or another, but I think from a purely kind of like technical complexity perspective, sure.
And, you know, the fact that this is a completely original new musical like that in and of itself is, you know, probably as difficult as splitting an atom. So that mixed with what we're actually doing on stage, I think probably I would say this is hard work.
And it is so unusual to have a musical that's not based on a movie, that's not based on a novel, that's just pure imagination.
Yeah, it's not songs people know, it's not story, it's not based on real events, it's truly from the imagination of Hugh Park and Will Aronson. And so we're getting to create a world completely from scratch, from the sonic landscape, the visual landscape, the rules of the world, and we're also in this kind of future that we are making up. So it's a real exercise and opportunity for our imaginations just to run free as a group.
So tell me about this world. How do you describe Maybe Happy Ending?
I mean, Maybe Happy Ending, from the perspective of the world, Maybe Happy Ending exists in a, I think, increasingly imaginable near future where AI elements have taken on human form to the point where they're ostensibly indistinguishable from human beings. And that's kind of like the launch pad of the world and the two primary protagonists that we meet.
Yeah, I think it wants to feel like, you know, the what we can imagine in a somewhat idyllic, somewhat dystopian future mixed with like a classic musical sensibility, classic design world. So, you know, despite there being a lot of digital elements, we wanted it to feel really tactile, that the textures were really apparent, and that, you know, there were things very recognizable. Some, you know, we're still having TV remotes somehow in the future, and you know, and Oliver's obsession with, you know, things from the past and LPs and records and things like that. So it's finding sort of classic texture with futurism, you know, mixed with musical comedy.
The Book of Mormon is one of the longest-running Broadway musicals of all time. More than 5,000 performances and counting. And after all these years, the 9-time Tony winner is just as hilarious as ever. Now it's time to take a backstage tour.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Clay. I play Elder Price here at the Book of Mormon, and I am going to take you around backstage here at the Eugene O'Neill. I'm gonna sign in so that we can officially get started. So let's go up a ton of stairs and make our way. Oh, you know what? While we have a special guest here, this is gonna be fun. Hey guys, I'm gonna bombard everybody in this room if they're okay with it. This is the Broadway show. Okay, and check this out. So not only is this Cody Jamieson Strand looking absolutely ravishing, so this is the stage management office. I know I just kind of flung you all on my friends here, but this is the stage management office where it's the power center of the building, really, and also snacks. Equally important. Pan to snacks. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, these are kind of fun because these are new to our building. So these are from the South Park Studios. They were going to get rid of them, and we said, why not just put them up here at the building? So please feel free to get a beautiful shot of Satan here, who I get to say hi to every time I come to work now. But now the main event is my dressing room. My very totally normal, not filled with Legos and fantasy books and typewriters and maps, and I've filled it with so much stuff. Little picture of my daughter there. Gotta throw props to my daughter next to my not wife. This is Barbara Streisand. My costumes are relatively simple in the show, which is probably why I fill the rest of my dressing room with fun stuff. I've got Mormon underwear, pretty basic. I've got a white shirt and black pants. Well, let's keep going upstairs. This is Keziah. She plays Nabalungi in our show. You've been with the show for a long time, but just recently have stepped into the role of Nabalungi. Tell us a little bit about that journey for you so far.
Yes, I've been with the show this is my 11th year. Yesterday was National Swing Day, so happy Swing Day. I was a swing and an understudy for 10 years, a little over 10 years, and this is my 4th month playing the role permanently as Nabalungi.
Ooh, that's so cool. All right, so signing off here at the Eugene O'Neill with my past self and our wall of past selves. This has been super fun, but like Keziah was doing upstairs, singing and warming up and doing everything, I've got to do that too. So you guys need to get out of here so I can do my show. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for staying with us for this latest episode of The Broadway Show. Glad you're here. Aladdin is pure Broadway magic at the New Amsterdam Theater, now for more than a decade. Now here's another exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
Suitors talk of love, but it's an act merely meant to throw me. How can someone love me when in fact they don't know me? They want my royal treasure. When all is said and done, it's time for a desperate measure. So I wonder, why shouldn't I fly so far from here? I know the girl I might become here, sad and confined and always locked behind these palace walls. Why shouldn't I fly so far from here?
That's all for now. I'll see you next time. I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.